you were born in Vancouver.
I used to deliver newspapers door to door. What's more rewarding than helping
Yeah.
a newcomer, you know, generate income and get their first job in Canada?
Hello, everyone. My name is Palak, and welcome back to Stranger Stories, a platform where we spread true and inspirational stories to inspire the world out. Today, we have with us Mr. Raj Hundal. He's the Senior Director of Employment Program at PIC Society. PIC Society is the largest nonprofit in Canada serving the South Asian community. Welcome to the channel, Raj.
Thank you, Palak, for having me.
So Raj, we have heard great things about you whenever we go out to various events, galas across this region, especially the Lower Mainland. People recognize you. They know who Raj is, not because you are working at PIX, because of the individual personality that you have. Do you agree with what I'm saying?
I appreciate you saying that, Palak.
Okay.
I am who I am,
Okay.
and call it my upbringing, call it my family, my support network, my friends, um, the relationships that I have. I am who I am at the end of the day, and I appreciate you saying that, but I don't go out of my way to be something that I'm not.
Oh, absolutely. That's why people recognize you because you're what you are, right? Okay. What I have heard and felt from my experience is that you have been, praised in a very commendable manner by your family, of course. I wanted to stress more about your personality, how your journey of growth and success. So how it all started. You are a South Asian boy, and you were born in Vancouver.
Yeah.
So how that journey has been for you, and what were the let's start with the struggles here.
The real struggles were my parents when they came to Canada. Let's
Okay.
start from there. But everyone has their start. I was born in '78, but since the time my father came to Canada, he worked with CNR, Canadian National Railways,
Yeah.
and he worked in Saskatchewan. Even though we're settled here in Vancouver, he worked in Saskatchewan and would come here on a monthly basis to reconnect with the family and of course then go back to work.
Oh, which is
That's
hard.
not easy.
Yeah.
And my mother worked as well. And the same company, she retired a few years back, and she lived in Vancouver, and she worked in downtown Vancouver. She took, 3, 4 buses getting to work, and 3, 4 buses coming back.
So
Those
that
were
time,
the real struggles during those times.
which year you're talking about?
We're talking about, from '74 to the real struggle the first, 5, 10 years when she came to Canada. Obviously, over time, she purchased a vehicle. My father purchased a vehicle, but
And were you there till now?
no, I was born in '78,
Okay.
and
I'm just so excited that you were born then.
my upbringing is partly due to my parents and of course my grandparents as well.
Oh, nice.
Parents obviously worked.
ਐਵੇਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪਹਿਲੀ generation ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ, they face the most challenges, and
That's
then
right.
the later on whosoever is born,
Yeah.
they are quite okay with they have an easy peasy life.
Oh,
Is that your case?
Yeah, not. I wouldn't say an easy peasy life. We have different struggles. Everyone
Okay.
goes through struggles.
Yeah.
No two people are alike. No two situations are alike. They might be similar. I joke with my dad now. The first house he bought in Vancouver was for $25,000. Could you imagine purchasing a home within the city of Vancouver for $25,000-$30,000?
Which year?
We're talking about the '70s, right? This is the first house that they purchased.
I wish
and
we
those
were in
different times.
70s.
Yeah, of course. Though the hourly wage was significantly less to what we have now, but it was a different time,
Yeah.
right? To obviously the challenges that you're facing today with respect to the housing crisis, with respect to lack of affordability, inflation, et cetera, et cetera.
I want to go back again
Yeah, please.
to when you were born.
Yeah.
And because you're South Asian, but you're born in in a different environment, but your family speaks Punjabi and the outside world speaks English.
Yeah.
So as when you were growing up, were there challenges, understanding the languages and different kind of people, because Canada is a land of immigrants. You might be having friends from other cultures. who speak
Yeah.
Korean maybe. So those kind of language barriers. Did you face any kind of?
I wouldn't say I faced any language barriers. I was able to make the quick switch. Obviously, when you're at home with the grandparents and the parents at the time, you switch to Punjabi,
Okay, that
and when
was easy.
relatively easy for
Oh,
me.
wow.
And then obviously at school, it was obviously strictly English. So at a personal level, it wasn't really a any growing pains, if you will, not growing pains, but rather any issues for me in
I
terms
see.
of that switch. Um, though though I will say that I know that people around that time, because we have family, we have other friends, maybe the switch wasn't as easy. But for me, because my
Okay.
grandparents, I was living with them, they were my caretakers, if you will, while my parents were at work Monday to Friday. Um, they played a big hand in terms of
Yeah.
my upbringing.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, that's a commendable thing. I know your parents personally, so I know they are great human beings, and of course, your grandparents would, of course, be. Okay, let's come to your part-time job, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
So, what was the part-time jobs that you did?
Well, actually, I didn't give the. I kind of lied when I said my first part-time job was in high school. Actually, I would say it was in elementary school. I used to deliver newspapers door to door. Yes,
Wow,
I did that in.
that's marketing.
Yes, I did that in grade 6 or 7. I delivered newspapers. That was door to door. It was only once a week, right? That I did it,
But you
but
did
I
it.
did it, and it felt so proud getting that check. And I remember coming home and got a check, but I don't have a bank account, right?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
remember going with my dad to the local bank at that time, and I set up a bank account. And then eventually in high school, I got a job as a parking lot attendant. I did that on the weekends. I did that on the weekends, on Saturdays and Sundays, morning shift. Just as a parking lot attendant. Started in high school, did that for a few years. That even did that when I was in university because it was a part-time job. It wasn't a strenuous job,
Yeah.
and I was able to make some money on the side to support my you
Support
know
yourself.
yeah gas money,
Yeah.
purchasing of textbooks.
So you're not dependent
Um,
on your parents now.
not as yeah at that time even I was not trying to be as much as dependent. If I didn't need to be dependent, I'd rather not be dependent. But obviously, support from family where needed, right? And that's always been the case. But as much as I can support myself, that's something that I strive for. Um, and then from there, just I've always been involved in more of progressive side of things, if you will. You want to
Yeah.
put it that way. And then actually, when I was involved in progressive side of things, the NDP was home to me. Been a member of the local New Democratic Party for some time. I started off as a youth New Democratic
I see.
member. Quite frankly, started from there, if you will,
Yeah.
and that culminated to having an opportunity to run for office in the city of Vancouver. I was fortunate to become elected. I was one of the founding members of Vision Vancouver at the time that when it became a political party in Vancouver.
I see.
Um, and I ran under the banner, and I was fortunate enough to get elected. I ran one
I didn't.
term.
Yeah, I
When
didn't know
yeah,
that.
well there you go. And
That's why we're sitting
yeah,
here.
that's right. That was in Vancouver. Ultimately,
Exciting.
things culminated and was introduced to this great organization, PIX.
Okay.
I've always known PIX. It's been here since what 1987.
Yeah.
Of course, started off by Sharon Gill, and of course the torch has been passed on to Mr. Chima, Sapir Chima.
Yeah.
Always knew about it. Saw it on TV, saw it in the newspapers. Family talked about it. But then I had an opportunity of meeting Sharon and really inspired in terms of the work that the organization was
Yeah.
doing with respect to women fleeing domestic violence, to the care homes, the care facilities, the employment programming, settlement side of things. And one day, I got an opportunity here.
Oh, so that's clearly you deserved it. Okay, but the thing is, now you're helping as a senior director of
Yeah,
employment programs.
that's
You're
right.
helping most of the time newcomers to get a job,
That's right.
right? How did when you were, a youth and you were looking for a job or a career path, how did you figure out that, okay, this is the field I wanted to be in? Because it's sometimes a mess. We are unable to figure out what we want out of this life. So,
Oh, um, I had mentors that came on the way in my journey,
yes.
right? Sharon Gill was my mentor at one time. Sapir Chima, helped me and guided me as well, our current CEO. Um, and there was another individual that I met in my journey, and he was a director of employment programs with another agency at that time. And he said, "You know what? This is what I do. Oh, interesting. You're helping people find jobs. What's more rewarding than helping a newcomer, you know, generate income and get their first job in Canada?"
To be honest, it's like a profession of a doctor.
Yes,
I
I
mean,
appreciate that.
really, this is a pain.
Yes.
Getting a job is a pain.
Yeah.
You helping them, you're a doctor.
So I had the opportunity when we talk about employment now, I've been with PICS now for nearly combined probably 13, 14 years now. First 2 years I was more involved in settlement, but when we talk about employment programming, I've been involved since 2012 till present. What I appreciate in my current role is having actually done the other roles, if you will, right?
Yeah.
Um, I wasn't just made a director or a senior director or a manager
Just
or
like
a
that.
coordinator,
Yeah.
because of my background in another area. I've always been involved in the last 12 years in employment programming. I understand what it means to be a job developer. I understand what it means to be a case manager. I understand
So been
what
through
it
all
means.
those.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
I a resource room person. I understand what it means to set up front desk as a receptionist.
Okay.
I understand, making coffee when clients walked into a work PC center. So I did all those things,
Wow.
and I enjoyed
Commendable.
it.
Yeah.
Right now, in my role, when I work with staff, and there's concerns that are brought up by case managers, job developers, or any employment program position, I can put myself in those shoes because I've been in those shoes before.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
I can understand where they're coming from. Both, and having that understanding is really important.
Yeah.
It's not a requirement of the job, but it makes my job that much more easier, and I feel the staff have confidence in knowing that I've been in their shoes at one time as well.
Maybe that's why they're more comfortable, talking to
Right.
you, sharing their problems or
Yeah.
even their success. Is because you talked about being in their shoes, but there is something you might not like me asking this question, but I still have to ask this. You have never been an immigrant yourself.
No.
Are you still able to understand their pain points?
Look, you're absolutely right. I'm not an immigrant.
Yep.
I'm born and raised in Vancouver and now residing in Burnaby for the past 10 years. How can I actually pretend and say that I know what they're going through? And the reality is I promise to listen to them. My upbringing allows me to have an understanding of the situations they go through because I saw it firsthand when my parents came in the 70s to Canada.
Yeah.
The close connectedness that I have with the community, the clients are serving, those things help me better understand the trials and tribulations or issues that newcomers to Canada are facing on a day-to-day basis. And we deal with it when we're supporting a newcomer. When we're working with a newcomer, they're not only coming here for employment support. They have legal needs.
Yeah.
They need housing. They need support in filling out their MSP application. They need support in terms of helping their brother or sister who's also a newcomer.
Yeah.
And and introducing me to them. I feel comfortable in knowing that I'm doing the best I can in supporting these individuals.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love that answer.
Thank
because
you.
It's coming directly from your heart. I can see that.
Yeah.
I have a second last question.
Please.
Which, See, I'm so curious, and whosoever is listening to the video, and if they're watching till here, they might be interested in knowing more about you as a personality. I wanted to know, how does your wife or your parents are helping you to be a person you are?
They're helping me to stay grounded.
Yes.
If I have my way and I traditionally come to work 8 o'clock in the morning, I don't have to come to work and be the first one here.
Yeah.
But I do because I love the work that I do, right? And also because when I'm coming here in the morning, there's no one else here. So I get my work. The most productive part of the day,
Okay.
traditionally for me, is the mornings. No phone ringing, no staff coming, no clients. I get everything done. It's a quiet time for me,
Yeah.
right? And I do sometimes get in trouble, or often get in trouble, though I'm trying to develop that work-life balance.
Yes.
Raj, you work at work and then you're working at home, right?
Yes.
And I'm continually told that I think I'm getting better,
Wow.
but I love the work that I do.
That's an
It's
achievement.
second to none.
Is there any message or inspirational thing or quote that you have, come across and you would like to share, that something that you believe in?
Work in an area that you love, and you'll never work a second day in your life. So basically, if you love what you do, you love your career, you love your work, you don't feel it's work because you do it because of other reasons than just monetary reasons. You do it because it gives you goosebumps. It gives you a tingle. It gives you a feeling that you are making society better. Doesn't matter what that is. It could be career development. It could be it could be a doctor. It could be an engineer. Whatever it is, whatever career path you want to take in life, don't do it because your family is telling you to do it, right? Don't do it because of just monetary reasons. Do it because
You
you
want.
love doing it. It is then it's not really work for you.
I so agree with you. I so
Thank you.
much agree with you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, for being here on the channel and sharing your story and journey. I'm sure it's gonna help someone.
Well, I thank
Even
you.
if it helps one person,
Yeah.
we have done a work. Good
Well,
work.
I
Yeah.
appreciate this and
Yeah.
thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Raj.